Hello and welcome back to Fluttering Butterflies. My name is Michelle and I'm here today to share with you my April book haul. Last month I had an enormous book haul. This month I have another one. I have 20 books to share with you. Let's get started. The first book I received in April is this book, The Young Elites by Mary Lou. I'm so excited to read this book. This one is about people with special abilities and it just sounds really interesting. Next up from Walker Books is probably the most exciting book in my pile, and that is The Rest of Us Just Live Here by Patrick Ness. This is his new young adult novel that's coming out in the end of August. It is super exciting and I can't believe I have a copy. Ah, thank you, Walker Books. Next up from Electric Monkey is Messenger of Fear by Michael Grant. This is being published in, it was published in April. It's got these beautiful black edges, a really great cover. I've never read anything by Michael Grant before. Now is the time, I think. Next up we have this unsolicited copy of Made for You by Melissa Marr. This is being published by HarperCollins and it's about a girl who wakes up the victim of a hit and run, I believe, and then she has these different visions of her friends dying, and it sounds interesting. I have kind of a hit and miss relationship with Melissa Marr's stories, but I am fairly intrigued by this one. The next book I received in April is A Flash of Blue by Maria Ferrer. This is, I believe, a book about guilt. Next up from Abrams is One Thing Stolen by Beth Kephart. I've heard amazing things about Beth Kephart. I've been meaning to read a book by her, and then when this book sounds incredibly interesting. It's about a girl who steals something and there's something about language, and it's set in Florence, Italy, and obsession and art and all sorts of things. It sounds incredible and I'm sure that this book won't stay unread on my shelves for long. Next up we have two books by Faber which are incredibly exciting. The first is House of Windows by Alexia Casali. I adored The Bone Dragon, which was Lexi's first book. This is her second book. It's being published later this year and it's about a 15-year-old boy who is attending his first year at Cambridge University. It sounds incredible. I'm so looking forward to this book. Also from Faber is In Darkling Wood by Emma Carroll. This is Emma's third book. I've only read one other book by her, but it was so very good that as soon as this book was offered for review, I snapped up that opportunity. It looks and sounds gorgeous, and actually Faber sent along this absolutely gorgeous fairy pendant thing, which is a really wonderful touch. Next up we have this book. It's called Boo by Neil Smith. And this is about a 13-year-old boy who dies, and it's a story set in heaven and it's completely populated by 13-year-old boys, and there's sort of a mystery surrounding the main character thinks that he has died in one way and it turns out that he's died in another, and it sounds heartbreaking and emotional and really interesting. And the next book I was sent is Truckers by Terry Pratchett. I was sent this because I was taking part in the Terry Pratchett blog tour. And this is the book that I reviewed for the Terry Pratchett blog tour. It was amazing. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was funny and clever and fascinating. Somewhat strangely, I was sent this book, Freedom's Child by Jax Miller. It sounds like an adult thriller, and I don't really read adult thrillers, but I will be passing this book on to my book club Who Does? Next up we have 4 books from Bloomsbury. The first is Poppy in the Field by Mary Hooper. I've already read and reviewed this book, and I had a special guest post by Mary Hooper on the blog. I will leave links down below to both of those. This is the sequel to Poppy, and it's about a girl who is a volunteer nurse during World War II. It's incredibly detailed and fascinating with some great characters and relationships. I loved it entirely. I also received this movie tie-in edition of Paper Towns by John Green. I'm so looking forward to the film. Oh my god. I also received another copy of Because You'll Never Meet Me, and they have, Bloomsbury have this great marketing thing in which you can send a little note to one of your friends from far away, which is really sweet. Thank you. And we also have the new book by Sarah Crossan called The One. I love Sarah Crossan, I really do. I'm so excited about this new one, and it came with this pack of gum. I was also sent a finished copy of Conversion by Catherine Howe, and a gorgeous, gorgeous hardback copy of The Novice by Taran Mataru, which is signed. How wonderful is that? Thank you so much. The last three books we have are Liberty's Fire by Lydia Seisen. I love Lydia Seisen's books so much. This is set in Paris in 1871 and it follows 4 different characters during a revolution, and it's incredibly good. I'm reading it at the moment, loving it. I also received Too Close to Home by Aoife Walsh. This is a book about families, and this particular family has quite a lot that is challenging and a struggle to deal with. I'm really looking forward to this one. The last book that I received in April is called Blood and Ink by Stephen Davies, and this is set in Timbuktu in 2012. Really interesting premise. I'm excited. One of the great things that I received also that is not an actual book is this. It's cassette. You flip it over and it's a little flash drive in the shape of a cassette player. I love it, and I'm incredibly excited to read My Secret Rockstar Boyfriend by Eleanor Wood coming up soon. So that's it for me today, and